Hey there guys, Rick here. Hope you're all doing really well out there. It's been a long time since I've tuned into you guys with a face-to-face video. So I'm going to enjoy doing this. It's been a long time. I think the last time was January since I did a face-to-face video. I've done the Instagram licks, but it's not quite the same. I've had loads of guys asking me questions and which I haven't answered, so I want to kind of get back to addressing those kind of things. And rather than doing full Q&As, I'm just going to randomly answer questions that I receive that I want to answer. So let's start proceedings with today's question. And I got this on Instagram, and it's from Metal Swoldier Redemption. This guy's a lifter and he's a guitar player, so that's cool. Hey Mr. Graham, I hope this message finds you. I was wondering how you divide your practice time between theory / music knowledge / technique versus writing music. Sometimes I find I practice more on the technical aspect due to a competitiveness in me when I see over-the-top players like yourself playing those insane licks. Thank you, sir. I know exactly what you mean. And there have been many a time when I've sat down to work on compositions and just writing tunes when I'll just flick through my subscription box on YouTube and bang, there's somebody playing this kick-ass lick and I'm just like, God damn it! Having said that, I absolutely love it. I love seeing guys absolutely destroying licks and stuff. It's great. I find it really, really healthy. There is an element which is a competitive element, but I think it's important to make sure you rein that in and you know, use it as a way to improve yourself rather than getting one over on somebody else, you know. And I think that's the danger with guitar playing, is that it can kind of become this competitive sort of boxing ring for who's got the best technique, and let's face it, nobody gives a shit, you know. You're the only person that gives a shit, really. So, you know, it's a good thing for pushing yourself and seeing what you're capable of, and you know, trying to make improvements in your own, you know, playing regards technique and everything else. And it's the same with understanding theory, and you know, you need specific time to allocate to within your practice time to work on those kind of elements. And it's exactly the same for composition, you know. The way that I find myself writing stuff is I'll sit down and I need the difference generally between playing licks and, you know, working on technique is that I can use a set time for working on technique and everything else, and I can generally work within that time frame. But when it comes to coming up with a lick, coming up with a riff or just writing music in general, I need more time than that. I need to be able to just forget about the clock, forget about time, and concentrate on letting myself be creative and letting all the things that I want to express come out. And that can be instantaneous. I can come out with a riff straight away. It can take me 5 minutes. On the other hand, it can take me 10 hours. And that 5-minute riff might be really good. The 10-hour riff might be fucking awful. But, you know, the difference is that I don't put that limitation in terms of time on myself regarding writing stuff. What it boils down to generally is how much time you have available to allocate towards a specific thing. Because writing music and writing licks and writing progressions and everything else and just jamming and everything else, it's all part and parcel of the same thing, in my opinion. However, what I've found is that I've got to be open in terms of the time that I allocate to composition, because for 2 hours I know I can get 2 hours of good solid practice that would improve my technique. I could actually spend 2 hours trying to write a riff and come up with absolute fuck all. And you know, to me it seems like it's wasted time, but it really isn't. But what I'm trying to say is that you've got to put the time in. Just to give you an example here, there's a guy that I remember when I was at music school. His name's Chris. I can't remember his surname, but he was a pianist and he was incredible, and he was completely obsessed with coming up with the perfect riff. just the most catchy riffs on piano, and this guy would kill it every time. Every time I heard him play, it was just amazing. And he was at music school for about a month, and he got a scholarship to study at Cambridge, and I never saw him again. But goddamn, I do think about him a lot, because this guy was incredible. He just came, these things, these riffs and lines just came out of his fingers like nothing. And the reason why, I think, is, for one, extremely talented, but number two, he was extremely devoted to that specific craft. So if you want to devote your time to playing mega licks, that's great, nothing wrong with it. If you want to devote your time to being music theory guru, that's great, nothing wrong with it. If you want to devote your time to writing the best tunes that you can, again, nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with anything in terms of your personal development. If you want to improve, you've got to learn how to balance everything, you know, because if you focus too much on one thing, then the other element of your playing will suffer, because you won't have spent much time on it. A lot of it is common sense. So, you know, if you find yourself, just to, you know, quickly get to the point here, if you find yourself getting annoyed because you're concentrating too much on technique, just give it a break. You know, nobody's going to care if you just leave your technique for a while, and even if your technique goes down, who cares? Write some stuff, come out with some stuff, be creative. You know, that, after all, that's why we pick up the guitar in the first place, because we're inspired by listening to somebody else be creative. So anyway, hope that's answered your question. Bit long-winded, bit more long-winded than I hoped it would be, but even so, hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, like and share and all that good stuff, and I will see you very soon for more Q&A. Cheers, guys.